Right, so as you can see, I was going to say that, but you really can't see. And yeah, so we have the button here, but we really can't see it because when we switch to dark mode, we actually lose it completely, and that's not good. So we're going to fix that. And also when you refresh this page, we'll lose the selected theme and go back to the light theme, which is the default theme. And that's not quite right, so we're going to also fix that. Right, so we are in the header component, and here we're going to add a class, BTN Toggle. I mean, you could name it whatever class you want, but I think this works pretty well. And we're going to put in this component because I don't think this is going to be used anywhere else. So we keep it in this header component, and in the SCSS file, what we're going to do is essentially we're going to set the color to the element's color. We're going to remove the box shadow, and we're going to set the font weight to 600, which is essentially semi-bold. I think bold is 800, so that's all we've done. And hopefully once we toggle the theme, the colors will be set correctly. And we're just removing the box shadow. You can put a box shadow on it as well, but I thought we'd remove it altogether. And if you do put it back on, remember to use the right color for that. Right, let's look at this in the browser. So we're going to change to dark mode, and that's more like it. Once we can see everything clearly, and once we switch back, everything works, which is pretty neat. The next thing we're going to do is saving the selected theme to local storage. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is actually I'll paste the code in and then we'll talk about it. This is the simplest code the simplest method, and I like small methods, so that's good. So here we're adding the theme to local storage, and yeah, essentially when we toggle the theme, we could call the add theme to local storage, pass in the theme that we've selected, and that will essentially just set it to theme. We should be able to see that in the local storage once we do it. So what we can do here is we can call this dot add theme to local storage, and we could just pass it a theme that we've selected, and that should work pretty well. So that's great, but once we add the theme, we should also have a method to retrieve the theme. So I'll also add another one to get theme from local storage, which again looks pretty straightforward. So we get a theme, and we're going to cast it to a theme type, and that's essentially all we need to do. But one thing, the most important part of what we're trying to achieve here is to set. So we're going to initialize the theme to whatever we get from local storage, if there's anything in there. If there's nothing in local storage, then of course we are going to use the light theme. So here what we're going to say is that we get theme from local storage. If there's nothing here, then of course use the light theme. So set that to light theme, and that's all we're doing. Pretty straightforward. Toggle the theme, save the selected theme to local storage, get a theme, and when the component's initialized, we get the theme from local storage. If there's nothing there, then of course set it to light theme. Right, let's look at what we've done. Right, so I've just selected the application pane, and looking at local storage, there's nothing there. We haven't actually added anything local storage. Look at what will happen here when we click on dark mode. We need to refresh that, unless I messed up somewhere, which of course is most likely to be the case. Let's have a look at it. Well, that's very odd. I had to rerun the application for some reason. Hopefully you're not going to get the same problem. So once we click on the dark mode, we should see the theme in local storage, and that's dark theme. If we then toggle that again, you can see that it's changing. But the most important point that we want to get right is this. So here we've set that. Once we refresh the page, we should still get a dark theme because that's what we have in local storage. And that seems to be working pretty well, apart from it being a little bit slow, but we can see that works. And that's a great time to actually stop working on the theme and start looking at the details. So once you click on this, of course nothing happens now, but you should be able to then go to the detail page. Before we do that, I was thinking, do we then I think before we go to the detail, we should probably look at the search and the filter. All right, let's see. Let's do that next.